Okay, so how do we calculate this Islamic calendar? Now we knew that we start from the month of Muharram. You have a question? You wanted to say it? You said it was lunar earlier, right? Yes, you were right. By the moon, that's what lunar means. Very good. So we know that it starts with the month of Muharram. We know that it starts from the first year of Hijrah. And now how do we know when the month starts and ends? We look at the moon. That's why it's called a lunar calendar. Lunar means that it goes by the moon. So every month begins and ends with a new crescent, or what we call a new moon. You saw the crescents, a lot of people, when they start decorating for Ramadan, you see all the crescents, we draw crescents, we color them. That's why we draw the crescent, because the crescent is the new moon. It's the new month that is coming in. So in the beginning of Ramadan, you see people like hanging those up and using them as decoration. That means the new month is coming in. So every month begins with a new crescent. Now, the 13th, 14th, and 15th of every Islamic month are called the Ayyamul Bid, or the white days. So the 13th, 14th, and 15th are the middle of the Islamic month. They're the middle 3 days of the Islamic month. And they're called the white days because the moon is a full moon during these days. It's very bright. It's a full moon. So that's why they are called the white days, or Ayyamul Bid, because the moon is very bright during those days. And you could see it clearly, hopefully, if there's no clouds around it. And the Prophet used to fast on these 3 days. So it's a sunnah from the Prophet ﷺ to fast on the 13th, 14th, and 15th of every Hijri month. So the 13th, 14th, 15th of every Hijri month was a sunnah from the Prophet. So this here is just to show you a picture of the Islamic month and how it would look like if we're looking at the moon. How would we know that it's the beginning of the month and the end of the month? So if you look at the crescent here, the first of the month and the last of the month are the same shape. So this is how we know this is the first and then the last of the month. They look almost the same. And of course, the earth is between the sun and the moon. And that's how you see the shade. The shaded part is the earth. It's blocking some of the sun that's reflecting on the moon. And then the earth moves, right? What moves, the earth or the moon? Who knows? What moves? The moon moves around the earth. Very good. So the moon moves around the earth. So in that's why you see all these different shades here. Every time, yeah? You caught that? Well, that's it. We're not explaining it from like the scientific point. They have a lot of different names. But when the moon moves around the earth, that's why you see the shade changing and the shape of the crescent changes throughout the month. So this is the different shapes of what we see. And you see at the end of the month, there is like 2 days here that you don't really see a moon. And that's when there is full coverage here. So this is why in the beginning and the end of the month, that is the birth of the new moon, and that is the crescent.